Hey everybody, my name is Alvin, and I just wanted to give my first ever video and take on basketball because I'm gonna be honest, I've been wanting to get into this space for a while, and I haven't really had a chance to that I felt was right. But my God, lately I've wanted to get into it, and this trade just made me realize, like, man, I gotta get into this because this is just nuts. So, without further ado, first time I do this, let's see what we can get out. I just want to say, first of all, holy fucking shit. I mean, Jaylen Brown getting traded from the Boston Celtics to the Philadelphia 76ers. I just think that's absolutely insane. I think Brad Stevens is a madman for making this trade happen. And I'm just in utter shock. Like, the second I read it, I kind of was like what? Like this doesn't like what? Like this doesn't really make sense, right? And then I was walking to get some food, some Chinese food, and I was just thinking about the trade. And I'm like, this just still doesn't make sense. And I had a chance to sit down and literally take some notes, and I still don't I don't get it. I don't understand. This trade to me, and I think I'll probably have more thoughts on it as time goes on, but just instantly it reminds me of the Luka trade. I think it's a tier below, just instantly, just because, Paul George actually did play last year and he played pretty decently. The same could not be said of Anthony Davis when that whole thing happened, so that was just weird. But I feel like it's just a scale. It's almost at the Lucas scale. It's under it, of course. That trade broke basketball, so that's just another level. But I feel like this is just under that to me personally, because when you think about Jaylen Brown, I know a lot of people like to clown on different things, and especially lately, which has been kind of weird to me, why people have been kind of clowning him, because the guy is legitimately one of the best players in basketball. I genuinely believe this. I know there's a lot of things that have come out recently, oh, Jaylen Brown, he's not a good player because analytics and this, that, and the third. Man, fuck analytics. This guy, from the time he came into the team, from the time I started watching the league, he came onto that Boston team as a rookie, and he was playing with Isaiah Thomas, king of the fourth at the time, just going off, literally carrying that team. And then they make that trade where, they give him up to Cleveland for the fourth pick, and, all these different things happen. And I'm just here bro, what are you guys doing? Legitimately, what are you guys doing? This is absolutely crazy. You guys are really gonna trade this guy who has been around for the last decade, who has gone from the Isaiah Thomas era, like I mentioned, to making a conference finals in his second year with Jason Tatum, to having that ascension with Jason Tatum where they had a dynamic duo kind of deal. Just each of them incrementally getting better, Austin Reeves style. When people think about Austin Reeves, think of him as an incremental player that's his value is just increasing each season, getting better each season. Jaylen Brown was legitimately doing that alongside Jason Tatum. They were both getting better and better and better, and they didn't plateau. They just continued to get better. Did the rises each year at a certain point exponential? No, but they did keep getting better. Their scoring kept getting higher. Their defense kept getting better. Their chemistry as teammates got better. And, it led them to a finals against the Warriors. Did they lose that finals? Yeah, that was a bad finals to lose. They had Time Lord, and they were clearly the favorites over the Warriors. And, they lost that in an epic fashion. But to say that was an absolute failure is to undersell what they did, because, 5 years of chemistry leading them to that is not a terrible thing. And then when you consider the fact that, the following season, they traded for, Porzingis, and they traded for Drew Holiday, and they just had that big four, and they ended up, going all the way. And Brown was such an instrumental part to that, not just during the season, but kind of being that connective tissue that kept the starters and the bench together, kind of like the role that Josh Hart plays on the Knicks, but it's coming from your superstar. It's coming from Jaylen Brown. So I just find this trade to be just an absolute stunner. I think, if you look at the trade itself, on one side you had Paul George and 2 picks from the Sixers going to Boston, and so okay, you have Paul George, and he played decently enough this year, but everyone considered his contract to be an albatross for the last 2 years. I don't think he magically made it a positive contract just by playing semi-decently this year. Still a lot of money to pay him. And I just think that, Paul George is a decent player, but at that rate, that's just nuts. And so to get him back, it's 1-for-1 for Brown, I just think that's not good value if you're Boston. You had a player who was legitimately MVP caliber. He kept getting snubbed by voters and all these stuff, but he carried that team. They were not supposed to be anywhere near that good. Credit to the player development staff. I think that they did phenomenal, and I think that their coach is a really, really good coach. Boston's coach, Joe Mazzulla. I think that guy is probably the best coach in the NBA right now. Mike Brown did great with the Knicks, but they just had all that talent already. I just think that balancing those minutes, it was important. But I think Joe genuinely raises the floors of a lot of players, and I think that Brown did too this season. I think that those two are the reason that Boston didn't miss a step, and I just think this is such a risk if you're Boston, because Jason Tatum just came off an Achilles injury. Okay, Jason Tatum has not played a season of basketball. He played part of the season of basketball, and then he didn't even play to finish their series. Who's to say that Jason Tatum's health isn't compromised? I mean, again, I don't wish him that. I think he's a great player, and I hope that he made a full recovery. He looked pretty good when he was back. But you're banking a quarter of a season, 20 to 30 games played, on him being fully healthy next year and beyond. I think that's a little bit fishy. Me personally, I think that's a little bit fishy. And that's not a risk that I would have taken. That's not a risk I would have envisioned a guy like Brad Stevens to take. Because when I think of Brad Stevens, I think the guy's like a genius, or at least I did prior to this, And it's kind of funny because a lot of people kind of felt that way about Nico too, before he made the Luka trade, because he found all the right pieces for Luka for them to make their finals run, coincidentally against Boston. But at a certain point, when are you giving up too much? I understand that, he probably didn't want to be back on the team. He probably wanted to be moved because of, all the chatter going on in the offseason and, just all those things that happened. But, dude, you did that. You caused that. You put his name on the line for Giannis. And Giannis is a great player, but, bro, he just carried you guys. He just raised the floor of the team to a level that even Giannis couldn't do for this Bucks team this last year. I mean, Giannis was playing with scrubs, and he was not playing his best, and he was all this stuff. But and he was not even being accountable himself. So he needs to take accountability for that. But Brown did not have that mentality. Brown came in like a soldier. He's wasted season. We're not wasting this season. And he just went in there with his guys. He just took these guys, and he had that soldier mentality, and he just embedded that in them, and they just fought and fought and fought in the regular season. Did it lead them to a lot of playoff success? No. But dude, those guys weren't supposed to. They weren't even supposed to make it there. People thought they were going to be a bottom 5 team or even a play-in team, prior to the season starting. And I personally wasn't in that camp. I thought that Brown was really good, and I thought that he himself could actually will them up to a top 5, top 6 if they had a decent secondary player, which I thought Derek White was going to fill in that role. But turns out just the whole team elevated, man. It wasn't one other player. It's the whole team elevating. And, man, I'm just in shock. I think this is a really bad deal if you're Boston. I think trading away one of your best players in your franchise's history, which he is, is not a good idea. I don't think that that's smart, and I know that this modern NBA, like you're always trying to extract value from somewhere, and if the jig is up, so to speak, then you know you need to make the most of it and like get yourself a player who I don't know, like who's gonna still be around if one of them wants to leave. But I wouldn't have given up Jaylen Brown. You have him for at least another 2 years, $60 million a year. But guess what? He's worth it. He's clearly worth it. Like he raised your guys' ceiling. And if you want to talk about like, oh, we're trying to get under the tax, we're trying to get under, whatever. Like I know that ownership tries to do that, and I know that it's a business at the end of the day, no matter what. It's not just about what is produced on the court. But with that said, I don't think you're gonna replicate the value that Jaylen Brown brings to the court in regards to like what he means to that fan base. I mean, that guy sells jerseys. That guy helps them win games, which raises fan interest because you do want to see a winning team, and so they were interested in coming to see a winner. And now you don't have that. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, I just don't understand, because unless there's some other move after this, like I don't know, like they try to get Jalen Duren from like the Pistons or something crazy, which I doubt. But if they tried to do something like that, I mean, at that point, you have like a Jason Tatum, Jalen Duren, Paul George lineup, but that doesn't really move a needle. I don't think so. I mean, I know they got Robinson, and I love Robinson, but geez, like I love Mitchell Robinson, but my God, like this just makes no sense. Like if you're thinking about the future picks, right? They got the 2028 pick and a 2031 pick. All right. Philly's going to be good in 2028 based on the lineup they currently have. Even if Embiid fell apart, you have Maxey, Edgecombe, and now Brown. That's a big three. That's a trio. That's a really nice trio if you're Philly. I mean, you got a youth and potential and contention right now. I think that the only lineup that's better than them in the East or compares to them is the Knicks lineup. I don't think any other lineup compares. Detroit got the number 1 seed, but they only have Cade, really. And even if they kept Duren, it's like that's 2 guys. Philadelphia has 3 guaranteed guys. I say 3 because Embiid is in and out. So I really don't consider him a guarantee. You could say 3.5 if you want to be kind, but you have 3 guaranteed guys. And I know that's a lot to put on Edgecombe's plate too, but like he played phenomenal in his rookie season. And I don't see him slowing down, especially because he actually played pretty decent in the playoffs too. Even with the sweep that they suffered against the Knicks, he helped them beat Boston. So I guess my whole point kind of this trade is this thing is just confusing. I think there has to be a follow-up move after this to make, if you're Boston, because, dude, like, Brad Stevens was talking about having, like, a rim presence, like having someone who can block shots or someone who can, like, be like a lob threat around the rim. I think Jalen Duren fits that perfectly, so I would expect that to be the next name. But I don't think that you get him. I don't think Detroit's going to let that happen because they have Cade. So unless they really don't want to play Jalen, like, good luck, Boston. That's all I can really say. At the end of it all, I think this is like the conclusion to this, I guess. Philadelphia just got a lot better. But Brad Stevens just gave up a perennial all-star, an all-NBA player, a good defender, MVP level player, give them to the Sixers for, in my opinion, essentially free, because your 2028 pick isn't going to be good, and Paul George was a bad contract. I think you just got the significantly better player if you're going to pay that kind of money for Brown. So you got the much better player, MVP caliber player, and you are now in a position where you can genuinely compete for a championship. I didn't think Philadelphia had a noodles chance of fighting for a championship in the East. I really didn't. Like everyone, I think their whole fan base has been pretty jaded to this point, rightfully so. But now they have a chance. Now they have. This is their most legitimate lineup that they've had since Allen Iverson, and even that lineup, no one thought they were going to beat the Lakers, but I think this might be their most legitimate lineup since the 80s. And I know that you hear that over the years, like when they had Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris with Embiid. I think this lineup is better than that because you have two homegrown stars in Maxey and Edgecombe. You do have Brown, who's going to be on a mission to prove Boston wrong. Like, he's going to be motivated to just be a champ somewhere else. And I think that could pan out. And then Embiid, if Embiid has that fire in his belly and he knows, like, God, like, this is my best chance. I have a lot of really good talent here. Like, let me learn from my past. Let me just try to stay as healthy as I can. Even if I don't show up for every regular season game, let me show up in the playoffs. Even if I get injured, let me show up, because this is what it takes to win a championship. I think this is Philadelphia's, like, this could be their year. This year or next year, especially in this parity era, these could be their years. And then if you are Boston, once again, my condolences to the Boston fans on the loss of your franchise player, the guy who helped carry you guys. I know that you guys had two franchise players, so you guys were very lucky because you also have just Jason Tatum still there, right? But my goodness, I mean, I just don't see things being the same after this. I think this is very much like you guys are going to be a play-in team, if not like a late playoff team. I don't see that team being a contender. If you get Duren, maybe you become a top 4 seed. But it's really hard right now. It's just really, really hard. And so for the Boston fans, I send my respect and my condolences for the loss of your franchise star going to another team, because that's especially a rival, a division rival. I mean, come on, like it's fucking rough, man. And then if you are a Boston fan too, man, like I just say buckle in and buckle up and let's just see what happens. I mean, look, Stevens has made crazy trades before, and that's what got Holiday and Porzingis coming to that team is what got them to win a title. So if you're Boston, that's where you got to put your eggs in the basket, is that you can believe that Stevens can try to replicate something like that. But I think that he just gave up way too much value, and if I was him, I would have just let things simmer over the summer, simmer down over the summer, let Brown come back. No matter what he wanted, just let him come back and just be like, listen, man, sorry that put your name out there, but like, it's Giannis. Like, and he could have been mad. He could have been like, well, I'm Jaylen Brown and I just got this team to 50 wins. You know what I mean? Like, he has all the right to do that too. But I don't know, man. You trade your first Finals MVP since 2008, and you get a significantly worse player, unfortunately, like he really is at this point, just based because of the contract too. You don't get the best picks in the world, and you only get 2 of them. You don't get like 4 or anything. You get 2 picks. I don't know about this for Boston. Guys, let me know what you're thinking about this trade. If you agree with my points, if you disagree, I would love to know. But man, sorry for your loss, Boston fans. And Philly, you got quite a team. Y'all better hope this is the time, because I don't think there's a better opportunity than now. I really don't. Like, this is as good as it gets for you guys. So anyway, that's enough for my first video. I hope you guys have a great day wherever you are, great night, great morning wherever you are. And if you want to see more of this kind of discussion, if you enjoyed what I was talking about, if you think that I got it kind of correct, please drop a like, drop a comment. Even if I got it wrong, tell me what you didn't like. And I just want to know what everyone's thinking, because I'm trying to get into this game, into this YouTube game, and I love basketball, absolutely love basketball, and I've been told for years by people to get into this, so I think now is the time. So anyway, have a good day, guys.